Winter cut day 35. Back, biceps, forearms, you know the whole deal. Well, we're gonna start with biceps first, but yeah. We have a liquid IV here, some vitamins, a coffee, and we're bringing the honey back in. Gonna have probably a couple tablespoons of that, and then we'll be set. I do recommend to anybody who is doing a very extreme cut, like very extreme, you pretty much need to have a multivitamin in my opinion, because there's no way that, you know, if you're only eating like chicken and then like maybe like a slice of bread and some diet soda, you're not going to get your entire daily intake of your vitamins, right? Not that you need every single vitamin at 100%, but you know what I'm saying. A multivitamin can just help you feel better and help you meet your micronutrient goals and not just your macronutrient goals. So we're going to kick back some of these vitamins. Little moment of celebration, at least for the moment, okay? These headphones snapped in half. If you guys watched, I think it was 2 leg days ago on my channel. There was something, I don't remember what workout it was, but either way, they snapped in half from the like upper joint here. But boys, when you got a craftsman in your midst, when you got somebody who's like a blacksmith basically, they can get it fixed for you. So my mom was my blacksmith and she was like, hey, I think I could fix this. So she like used this like baking soda method with glue or whatever, and was able to literally like make this super hard bond between the things, the joints or whatever, and so now it's totally fixed. And it seems really sturdy. Take care, guys.
All right, this is a lower bench angle than we're used to. Now this means that it's going to be harder when the bicep is more stretched out. Who doesn't want that? Who in their right mind doesn't want that? You can't tell me one person who doesn't want that. So we're working in the range of motion where the bicep has the best leverage, right? And the peak tension is in that bottom half right here, right? The further we lower the bench, the more the peak tension shifts downward. I could make it right here, but that would feel really scary. So, and even then, that's not even useful compared to having it right about here, okay? Peak tension is very centralized towards the bottom half of the range of motion, right about here, in between here and here. So, that is the range of motion where the biceps have best leverage and where peak tension is experienced from 0 to 90 degrees. So we take advantage of that by setting up the bench this way. We're gonna go for, how about this? 8 strict reps. That's what we're gonna go for. Eight reps. Pause, baby. Woo! There you go. I'm telling you right now, nobody celebrates a preacher curl PR like me. Nobody celebrates a preacher curl PR like me. Because here's the thing. What does that mean? What does 8 reps mean to me? Paused at the bottom. What does that mean? With control. Not only was there no momentum involved, or very, very minimal, if even, there was also significant force production in the range of motion where the biceps have best leverage to produce force. Come on, man. It's a no-brainer that these little minuscule PRs are gonna add up long term. All right? Next session we get 9. The section after that we get 10. And then 11 and 12 and 13. Well, actually, probably not. We're probably gonna go up to 50 by then. But even then, if we're still having workouts here, there's no 50-pound dumbbell, so we probably are gonna have to get like 15 reps, you know, before we shift up to the 55, which is the next stop. And I'm not gonna lie, 55 is when it starts to get a little scary. If I'm being totally honest, that's a lot of weight for a preacher curl, a single arm preacher curl, okay? But if that's what it takes to get 20-inch arms, that's what we're gonna do. Come on now. Ah. Oh. Uh. 16-inch arms, lean, shredded, is going to be a possibility. But then, imagine the bulk, man. I already said without even having creatine, I could probably attain almost 19-inch arms naturally on the next bulk. Imagine the people crapping on my physique then. Where are they gonna be at when my arms are almost 19 inches? I'm just getting too hype here.
You want to just spar or like warm up a little bit and spar? We can do all of our technical stuff when we're done. You're like, yeah, dude, I don't feel like it. Yeah. And anything you see, like, in my technique, definitely let me know.
Ah.
So I will be doing a little bit of voiceover work on this video, not because I'm not talking, but because the music is very loud and it's pretty much a giant red flag for copywritten content. So yeah, I don't want to get a restriction on this video. I'm usually cool with restrictions, but honestly, I want to try to avoid it just for the future and just kind of implement this format now so you guys are familiar with it. But yeah.
Back to your Italian accent.
Hey, Loki Pokey, I'm in the mood, eh?
4 sets of bicep curls, 7 sets of tricep curls, over here we got back day. Whatever, I can't remember.
Yeah, it was back day. It was back day.
It was, so you wouldn't have done biceps.
I'll have to implement that more. I'll make spaghetti and meatballs and talk like that. and wear like a trench coat and a hat.
You know, I don't like putting music added onto my videos unless I think it's very necessary or kind of awkward without audio. So you guys get my voiceover instead. Oh, and not to mention the hammer curls, but these feel freaking amazing. I love them. I think they're a nice addition as well because I only do them for one set and I'm able to still progressively overload them week to week. And yeah, I just like kind of doing the minimum volume needed to progressively overload. I really enjoy doing that. And these chin-ups, trying to just explode through them during the warm-up. Get all the muscle fibers activated. And then we threw on some fat grips on the bar. And now we're trying to hit a PR with a 45-pound plate. I think I got 5 or 6 here. Which is kind of even more impressive than if I had just upped the reps alone from last week. Because I added on fat grips, which is a totally new factor that I did not know I was even going to add until pretty much today. Just because I've been seeing freaking dudes with huge forearms lately, and I'm like, you know what, I kind of want to be like that, you know. And I'm not going to get there unless I'm using grip tools, or not even grip tools. I'm not going to get there unless I'm training my grip, period, you know. Or, you know, doing any kind of other forearm work, like wrist extensions and wrist curls. I need to add wrist extensions. I don't know where I'll put them, though. Now, for some reason, the left arm did not record, so it's showing you guys the right-handed set, although I will tell you the left-handed set was brutal today. I think I got like 3 crappy reps, which is so bad compared to normal, so a lot of it was due to poor hand positioning on the dumbbell, which is actually a really big factor. But on the right, I did pretty freaking good. So I was very happy about that. 80-pound dumbbell, wrist curling it like a boss, like usual, arm wrestling style. And then I showed you my drop to 60, or this might be 65. I don't know. Either way, it's a giant rusty dumbbell. So I tried really just controlling the weight, the eccentric, pausing at the bottom. And you know, I got to be honest. If you want big forearms, you got to be able to handle a 60 like this. And I'm not even saying that you need to go for numbers necessarily or be arbitrary about it, but you definitely need to be able to handle some big weights in a controlled manner, you know? So that's the number one thing I'd advise is with forearms, don't give it a light pink dumbbell and try to get a burn. Actually get some good work in.
Forearms are one of those things. If you get them too sore, you think that you injured yourself or did something seriously wrong.
You know, I gotta say, wrist curls are one of those things you gotta be willing to be extra silly on because sometimes your anatomy will not agree with a prescribed range of motion or a certain, you know, stance or whatever. You need to accommodate to your own body. And I know there's gonna be a genius in the comment section that goes, dude, you know, everyone knows that. But there's a lot of people who would never think to lean forward during a wrist curl like this. This has actually allowed me to take all the pressure off of my wrist that's unnecessary and made it actually feel like a natural range of motion in my wrist joint. So pain-free wrist curls sounds like more gains to me, and I'd rather look a little silly, get in some pain-free wrist curls, and have better long-term gains, you know, at the expense of maybe getting made fun of or whatever.
I'm experimenting with kind of faraway angles because I feel like the more golden era your videos look, the more epic they are. So yeah, I might put some film grain over this that I use on some of my videos, not any of my long form ones, but on my short form ones, and it makes it look pretty cool, to be honest. It makes it look more golden era.
Alright, here we are again, throwing around the 80s like a champ. Although I'm not really throwing them around, I'm kind of controlling them a lot. But this first set here, I really had to get back in my groove. I feel like my back kind of stopped being warmed up whenever I did the wrist curls after the chin-ups instead of just going right to these rows. So who knows, maybe I'll mess around with the exercise order some more, but at the end of the day, there's benefits and downsides to anything you do in terms of exercise order. So it's just pretty much, what do you want to prioritize more? Back at it with another set here. I'm really just trying to throw around the weight this time, because the first set, yeah, I said I was throwing it around, but this set, I'm like, I want to kind of stop short at the bottom, not, get too involved in the stretch, and just really try to explode through the range of motion. And it actually paid dividends in terms of the mind-muscle connection. And I've noticed that if I ego lift a little more on my back workouts specifically, I get way more back growth, way more lat development, upper back development, all that. So I've been just kind of toying with that lately, experimenting with more, I guess, ego lifting form on lat pull downs and rows and all that. And it's been really helpful. I'm not going to lie, I really like this pose. I just do it pretty much every chance I get. It's just an enjoyable one to hit, and I feel like it complements my proportions pretty well. I mean, everybody has a pose that looks really good on them because of their proportions, and I think that's mine. Not the Ziz pose. Alright, you know how I said I was throwing it around on those other sets? Now I'm actually throwing it around. I mean, this set, I really felt it the most. And I think this was probably my most explosive set out of all of them. Or at least it felt like that in the moment. And I think I felt my, mind-muscle connection a lot more on the third set, which is kind of makes sense because it's when you're the most pumped is when you've probably done the most volume. So, yeah. All right. We're hitting the posing room now, which is the exact same room I was lifting in. I think the back double bicep is a pretty good pose for me. And especially lately, man, my back has improved so much. Crunching the shoulder there a little bit because it's in pain. Let's try to hit the Sergio Oliva. That does not look good on me, but it's okay. We'll get there eventually. Now let's hit the back lat spread and see how this has come along. I'm excited to see this one. Dang, that looks pretty good for me. I'm happy with that. I think my back is one of those muscle groups that I feel like is least affected by a pump. Like, I just don't think it looks that much better when it's pumped versus not, but who knows? Maybe I'm just being a goof. All right, what am I going to hit here? Oh, okay. Doesn't look too bad. I've hit it much better before, the Arnold pose. All right, you guys can tell the shoulder's really bothering me here, but I'm making it work. I feel like getting my arms back further in my poses is kind of more difficult with shoulder pain, but that's all good. So we get a vacuum here, overhead abdominals, and yeah, that's a nice pose. I like that. I think my arms look particularly good in the overhead abdominals pose, which is something I feel like that makes a lot of people's arms look smaller. But, it just depends on your proportions. Some poses might work, some poses won't, And I'll also say this. This is pretty mid-lighting, at least for the front poses. It's not really showing my definition that much. I'm sure some idiot is going to look at this and go, oh man, like, bro, he's so small, why is he posing? And then they're going to see another post of mine and be like, oh my gosh, he's huge or whatever. And I've literally had people do that where they see me at a transparent angle, look at my physique and tell me that I have the worst physique ever. And then they'll look at my other posts and go, oh man, you actually are pretty big. All right, boys, so we're back. Good session overall. I think I made the most of it. I tried putting wrist curls before rows, and that actually felt really good. I didn't think that I was going to have enough mental or physical energy to actually do the rows at the end, because last time I ended up doing them, I was so fatigued. But this time it was amazing. I felt like I got a great stimulus from those rows, a great pump. Wrist curls went well overall. I was extremely happy with the bicep curls. I think it was 8 reps. Paused at the bottom, full range of motion, preacher curl. So that was actually really neat. And yeah, so don't forget to use code Maxwell15 for 15% off PR Lifestyle, and code MSharkey996 for 10% off Get Raw Nutrition. And I will see you guys tomorrow.